Self-awareness is a superpower. Welcome to Soul and Vibration. This video is an introduction to astrology. This is going to be a basically astrology one-on-one video for beginners. Before I get into the video, I wanted to talk about a few things. I wanted to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed to this channel, who has been engaging in the comment box below. And some of you have even came over to Instagram where we're engaging and having fun with the daily comment that I'm sharing there. I want to thank you so much for showing love and appreciation to this channel because I love creating content like this. And your response inspires me to keep going. It shows me that it's making a difference, and that's super important to me. Some of the comments that I'm getting on Instagram and even in the comment box below is people saying how much they can relate to me or some of the things that I'm saying. And even my grandfather, who you might hear me talk about in videos about the number 9, about the number 2, and as I get further into astrology, when I talk about Virgo, he will come up because he was a Virgo. So the balloons in the background is for a celebration. I am celebrating being a member with YouTube. Finally, it took forever. And I'm celebrating having over 2,300 and something subscribers. I mean, that's not a big deal compared to a lot of the other channels, but I don't even care what the other channels are doing because that's a huge deal for someone like me. And I feel like I could get emotional thinking about what I'm about to say, but it's a huge deal for someone like me because coming in front of the camera and communicating and expressing myself was something that was like my biggest fear ever. And for my regular viewers who are strongly associated with the number 3 vibration, being born on the 30th or a life path number 3, you guys know how hard it is to communicate, or just to communicate, whether it's reading or speaking. And it's crazy because that is our strongest points, but it takes some time for us to develop that side of ourselves. So yes, me reaching over 2,300 subscribers, that is a huge deal for me because starting the channel took me forever because I was so afraid. I was so afraid of not communicating properly. I was so afraid of misrepresenting myself. I was so afraid of what people would say. And when I say misrepresenting myself, it took me some time to come out the spiritual closet. It took me some time to be open about my interest and belief in numerology, astrology, occult, and metaphysical topics. You know, so my itty bitty growth compared to, you know, others is a huge milestone for me because it just proves that anything that you put your mind to, like, you can make it happen. So yes, these balloons are a celebration for that. And in celebration to that, I am giving away t-shirts that says Curiosity Free the Cat. Curiosity Freed the Cat. And the reason why that connects to me is because my name is Catherine, shortened Cat. I've even went by the nickname Kai for those of you who started out in the very beginning. And I am super curious. So I hated that saying, curiosity killed the cat. Like, I overthink things sometimes and I'm like, curiosity killed the cat. Like, is it bad that I overthink things sometimes? And I think curiosity, being curious about life, it's like the best thing that you can do for yourself because you discover things about yourself and about life opposed to having people tell you what you should think and what you should believe. So yes, curiosity freed the cat. So I will be giving away these shirts. Stay tuned to the end of the video and I will tell you how to win a shirt. So let's get back to what this video is about. So this video is about astrology one-on-one for beginners. I have done over 100 videos on numerology and I thought it would be exciting to take you guys on a journey into astrology because the two can work together and help you to understand yourself even more. For me personally, astrology and numerology has helped me to understand my psychology and understand how the people around me see things and think, and realize that nothing in life is personal. We are all just wired different. So you might see me looking down from time to time, and it's because I have my notes here. I don't want to keep it up too long because it's a mess and probably a bunch of misspelled words and stuff like that due to laziness. You life path number 3s know what I'm talking about, that laziness. And as I wave my hands around, you might notice that there's ink all over me and stuff like that. I didn't feel like showering again. I know you guys wouldn't judge me, so let's do this. So in astrology, I find that a lot of the people who don't believe in astrology had a bad experience with the general horoscopes, the ones that you find when you open up the back of a magazine or a newspaper or some online sites. And I say bad experience meaning that they read it and they just didn't connect with it. So they wrote it all off and dismissed it as just being a bunch of BS. And the reason for that is because you are not just your sun sign, your star sign. Your sun sign is where the sun was in the sky at the time of your birth. So imagine that the sky is a map. Just like how you could look at a globe and see a map of different continents and countries and where they're located. Up in the sky, different parts of the sky it belong excuse me, I'm sorry. Up in the sky, different parts of the sky belongs to different zodiac sign. So imagine the sky as one huge pizza, and then the pizza is divided into 12 slices. So each 12 slice represents a zodiac sign and also houses. The signs remain the same, the houses move. So in astrology, your sun sign is important, but your moon sign is also important. Your rising sign is just as important. There's a lot of different factors that come into play, or different pieces of the puzzle that makes up the whole. So your moon sign is where the moon was located at the time of your birth. The moon is a satellite that moves pretty quickly. It stays in one sign for about 2 to 2.5 days at a time. In order to find your moon sign and your rising sign, you will need to go and do a natal chart. And I'll put a link in the description box for a website where you can go and get a natal chart done for yourself. You're going to need your birthday, your birthplace, to get your moon sign. If you want your rising sign and all the houses, you know, what sign belongs in what house, you're gonna need to know the time of your birth to get it detailed. But if you don't know the time of your birth, starting with just your moon sign will work for now. The moon sign is super important because it shows our inner relationship, our emotional relationship. I feel like our moon sign also shows our shadow side. And I'm going to be jumping around back and forth in this video because that's just how my brain works. So I hope you can follow. So our moon sign shows pretty much our inner relationships, how we talk to ourselves, how we emotionally connect to things. And that part of our personality isn't often seen by people who aren't that close to us. It is the people who are the closest to us that see that part of our personality. I also feel like our moon sign can be our shadow side, because if you think about when the moon comes up in the sky, it's when it's dark outside. So the shadow parts of our personality can be found in our moon sign. I'm gonna jump back to the sun sign. So your sun sign is where the sun was at the time of your birth. The sun represents our will and our ego. And when I say ego, I mean how we identify. So imagine ego as an energy that can only be seen when it is occupying something. So when the sun, say for example, the sun is in the constellation of Scorpio, making you a Scorpio. I'm a Scorpio. I could relate to this, and I'm gonna get into more about that. When I tell people, some people, that I'm a Scorpio, sometimes I cringe because I notice how they'll take a few steps back, you know, because Scorpios have this bad rep, and I can't relate to all of it because I have a lot of other placements in my sign where, yes, I relate to being a Scorpio, but I relate to a lot of other things too. So I don't connect or relate to a lot of the stereotypes that are placed on most Scorpios. So yes, the sun is in the sign of Scorpio, and the sun being the ego, and the ego pretty much is how we identify with things. We identify with things in our physical world by pretty much giving them labels or seeing ourselves within them some way, somehow. So basically, we might identify with ourselves as a doctor. So it's like being a doctor, it's our identity. So where the sun is, it's a part of our identity, how we identify with pretty much with our human experience, which I don't feel like, I feel like as we evolve in time, we'll learn to know that we have strong connections to things, but learn to identify with nothing, but be able to relate to everything. So in the sun sign, the sun is in the sign, say Scorpio, for example, the way how an individual, or the way how our ego will identify with ourselves is pretty much through Scorpio-like traits and characteristics. You know, like energy, our ego is able to see itself when it is manifesting through something. So when our identity is manifesting through the zodiac sign Scorpio, then we will have Scorpio-like traits like being private, being mysterious, being possessive, you know, the things that Scorpios are known for. So when the sun is in a sign, that is how we identify. That is how we identify with ourselves. That is our identity. Wherever the moon is our emotional relationship within ourselves, and even like I said, our shadow side. So remember when I said, imagine the sky as this big circle and it's divided up into, or it's a pizza. The sky is this huge pizza sliced up into 12 slices. So imagine the zodiac houses as a slice of that pizza. Wherever your sun is, whichever house your sun sign is or your moon sign is, you will also have strong characteristics of that house. Like say, for example, for me, I have my sun in Scorpio, but in the 3rd house. That's a Gemini house. I also have a stellium going on in there. A stellium is when 3 or more planets is sitting in the same sign. So even though I am a Scorpio, I have strong Gemini ways. Can't you tell by the way I communicate? I jump from here to there, like, you know, I'm back and forth because my mind is working super fast. My moon is in the 12th house. So even though my moon is Leo, it is also sitting in the 12th house. And the 12th house is the Pisces house. And the 12th house is things that are hidden from us, things that we cannot see. So I feel like sometimes my own ego and even parts of my identity is hidden from me. And with my moon being in Leo, it's like, yes, I'm a humble person, but for those who know me personally and privately, I also have a big ego. And when I get comfortable, I just want to shine bright and show that Leo side of myself. But when you meet me for the first time, you're gonna see my Virgo rising. Your rising sign, like I mentioned earlier, you're going to need your time of birth to get that. Your rising sign is a sign that was rising on the eastern side of the horizon. So imagine your rising sign as the outside of a house or a building. You know, it's like basically the presentation of something. It's like our rising sign is almost like our representative, the parts of ourselves that we send out to meet and greet people. So I have a Virgo rising. My Virgo rising makes me want to make everything perfect, and it's so annoying because it drives me crazy. It drives me crazy in the sense that it's like I overthink things a lot. When I'm working on a project, sometimes I'll do it a million times trying to get it perfect when there is no such thing as perfection. But I'll strive for it and stress myself out in the process. My Virgo rising also makes me selfless, you know, always wanting to help and be of service. And I feel good about myself when I'm helping people. So your sun, moon, and rising sign comes together and tells the story about you. Your sun sign is important, but is not the only important placement within your chart. So we're gonna go to the planets. So as you know, within our solar system, everything evolves around the sun. Same thing within astrology. Pretty much our sun is our ego, our identity. The next planet closest to the sun is Mercury. Mercury is the planet of communication. Mercury is the planet that is able to travel from the heavens and to the underworld. And Mercury represents the mind. Like our minds can go from a thought, a saint thought of, you know, a godly thought, a thought that can, you know, change the world and take care of babies, to the most wickedest thought ever. So Mercury rules the mind. And Mercury also rules over Virgo and Gemini. The next sign is Venus. And another thing, even though Mercury is the closest planet to the sun, it is actually not the hottest planet. And you would think it would be the hottest planet being so close to the sun. But Mercury is the smallest planet and one of the faster moving planets. The moon moves the fastest, but the moon is really a satellite. So next to Mercury is Venus. Venus is the hottest planet. Venus is an interesting planet because it is beautiful in appearance, but on the inside, it could be super toxic. So Venus is the second planet closest to the sun, and Venus within our chart represents the things that we value. It represents beauty, it represents love, it represents our finances. So Venus rules over Taurus and Libra. Taurus being a fixed earth sign. Fixed meaning that it is stable, it is consistent, and it finishes things. And then Libra, which is a cardinal sign. Cardinal signs are basically, they are the initiators of change. Libra is a air sign. Air rules the mind. Back to Mercury ruling over Gemini and Virgo. Gemini is a air sign, mutable. Air meaning the mind, mutable meaning flexible, flexible in thought. Virgo is earth and it is mutable, so flexible in earthly activities. Now, the third planet from the sun is Earth. We live here. The fourth planet from the sun is Mars. Mars is the planet of action, the planet of our will. Mars is a warrior. Mars rules over Aries. Aries is cardinal fire. Cardinal fire is an energy that initiates change. Mars also ruled over Scorpio before Scorpio was assigned to Pluto. Scorpio is fixed water. So think about emotions just being fixed. Think about water that has no movement. So it's like your emotions are just still. That's Scorpio being fixed water. The fifth planet from the sun is Jupiter. Jupiter is a huge planet of expansion and optimism. Jupiter rules over Sagittarius, which is mutable fire. And fire is our energy. So that means flexible energy. Jupiter also ruled over Pisces until Pisces was assigned to Neptune. Pisces is mutable water. So that's being flexible in our emotions. After Jupiter is Saturn. Saturn is the 6th sign from the moon. Saturn is a planet of responsibility and boundaries, and you can tell by the rings that operate within Saturn. Think of those rings as a house with a fence around it, and you're a child and you're not allowed to play outside the fence. It's like those fence keeps you in. So Saturn is a planet of responsibility and boundaries, and wherever Saturn is in your chart normally tells you that you might have a hard time with that thing for a while, but after a while, after time applied and being consistent and working at something, you'll get better at it. And I could relate to that personally. Having Saturn conjunct my sun in the 3rd house and Mercury. So that's what I was talking about earlier in this video, struggling with communication. So yes, Saturn rules over Capricorn and also Aquarius, but Aquarius was assigned later to Uranus. So Capricorn is cardinal earth. Cardinal earth meaning initiating action when it comes to earthly things. Capricorn also rules our career and place in the world. Aquarius is fixed air. That fixed air meaning, so Aquarius is the water bearer, and Aquarius is the water bearer, and even though Aquarius is an air sign, I do believe that Aquariuses also are emotional, but like the water bearer, they carry their emotions differently. And Uranus, Aquarius was later on assigned to Uranus, and Uranus is very innovative. Uranus is rebellious, and I say rebellious because if you look at Saturn and the other planets, their rings rotate this way, where Uranus rotates on a different axis, which is totally different from everybody else and everything else, similar to the Aquarius energy, where Aquarius dances to the beat of their own drum, because that is what Uranus is all about. And that is how we go about innovation and change, by doing things completely different, being unorthodox and being untraditional. That is how we bring forth change, the changes that we need. So Neptune rules Pisces now, and I mentioned that earlier. And last is Pluto, Pluto was once a planet, and now it's considered a dwarf planet. Pluto is all about, I jumped from Neptune to Pluto. Back to Neptune. Neptune rules over Pisces. Neptune is all about basically illusions, delusion, creativity, taking care of others, just like how Pisces is selfless. When you think of Hollywood, Hollywood is ruled by Neptune. Hollywood is creative, and also there's a lot of illusions going on. So yes, let's go back to Pluto. Pluto is a dwarf planet that rules over Scorpio. Before Pluto was considered a planet, then after it is considered a dwarf planet. I was saying something to a friend sometime last week, who is also an astrologer here. Name of the page, Astro Finesse, and he calls himself a jiggy hippie, and he is one of the jiggiest hippies I know. Every now and then we have conversations, deep conversations about this stuff, and it's good to be able to talk to other people who are also into what you're into. So I was studying the planets, and I noticed something, and I text him like, hey, what do you think about this? And he was like, yeah, I could definitely see that. So basically what I'm talking about is Scorpio, Aquarius, and Pisces were the 3 signs that were passed off to different masters. And I guess I can't help but looking at it as, imagine growing up and being born in one house, and then after being pushed off to another house for whatever reason. I bet that plays a lot in the way how Scorpios think, feel, and view the world. Not just Scorpios, Aquarius, and Pisces. But I'm gonna save that for a later video, because I feel like that might play a part in Scorpios, Pisces, and Aquarius having feelings of abandonment issues or betrayal by their caregivers if they ever go through that. I'm sure every sign can relate to that, but I'm sure it's a little different for the 3 signs that I just named. But I'll go over that in a future video. There's too much to go over here, so I'm gonna save some of it for future videos. So within the signs, so the 12 signs are broken down into groups of 4 elements. You have 3 signs that are fire signs, and that's Aries, Sagittarius, and Leos. The fire signs are the initiators of change. But then keep in mind, even though fire initiates change, the cardinal signs are the ones who initiate change. But fire signs are more energetic, more energetic, more upbeat, more outgoing. Just like how fire signs are masculine. The earth signs are Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo. The earth signs represent stability. The earth signs are also feminine. Feminine meaning that their strength comes from within. Similar to the water sign, who is Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer. The earth and the water signs are feminine, so their strength is harnessed within. The last masculine signs are the air elements, which is Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. The air elements are masculine. They are also outward as far as their strength. They are action oriented, forward moving. Masculine meaning energy project outward, feminine meaning energy project inward. So yes, the duality is feminine and masculine. Then the qualities of the signs, I mentioned that when I went through the fixed, the mutable, and the cardinals. I pretty much went over that. The next thing that I want to go over is the aspects. So imagine that the planets are actors, and I read this in a book somewhere, so this is not original, but it helped me. So imagine that the planets are actors, right? And the sign is your costume, and the houses is the movie scene that you're acting out, is the scene that you're working on. So say you're doing a scene in the 4th house. That means that scene is going to be set up like the home, because the 4th house represents the home. Say the actor is Mars, but Mars is wearing a freaking Libra costume. So Mars is all about action, but now action is dressed up as Libra, who is seeking balance, who likes to relate to others. So the aspects in astrology is the communication between the planets. The aspects in astrology is super important, because you might have, say, your Venus, say for example, your Venus might negatively aspect your north node. And our north node is something that shapes like a pair of headphones, and it shows the direction that we aspire to in this life, where our south node is the shape of headphones that are reversed, which shows what we're most comfortable with. Some people might say it's a past life, but others might say it's your earlier life. So yes, so say your Venus squares your north node. This might show that you might have a hard time when it comes to balancing your relationships and your career together. It almost feels like you can't have both. But I feel like regardless of what our natal chart says, once we are self-aware, there is nothing that we cannot do. And that is why I love astrology and numerology, because they help me to understand my psychology. So the first house within our chart represents ourself. That's where your ascendant sign is. That's what your rising sign is. That's what people see when they first see you. Your second house represents the things, your possessions. Your third house, communication, your mind. Your fourth house, your home, your security. Your fifth house is creativity, the things you enjoy for fun and even children. Your sixth house is how you take care of yourself, your health, and your day-to-day routine, your day-to-day work life. Your seventh house is your relationships. It's the house of marriage, how you relate to other people. Your eighth house is pretty much the things that are hidden, that's secretive. That's also known as basically the house of death and rebirth and regeneration, and also basically the things that you gain through other people. Like, say for example, you marry someone, and from marrying them you gained all these things. That's the eighth house. The ninth house is higher education. The ninth house is pretty much our interest in cultures and things outside of ourselves and outside of our own. The ninth house is also, yeah, like basically going to college. It's basically philosophy and things of that. Your 10th house is your career, your place in the world, and what you aspire to. Your 11th house is a humanitarian house ruled by Aquarius. It's the house of small groups and social circles. Your 11th house represents the friends that you choose. Unlike the third house is the people, the community you were born into. Your 11th house is the community that you choose for yourself. Your 12th house is the house that is hidden. In the 12th house, things are normally hidden from us. It's like basically parts of our own personality, parts of our own subconscious that we are unaware of. Your 12th house is the subconscious mind. That's what that is. Another thing that I want to touch on is, like, as I'm getting to wrap it up and thinking about new things. So yes, I've spoke about aspects, but I want to touch more on oppositions and how planets oppose each other. So Aries is opposite of Libra. Aries represents the self, Libra represents relationships. I feel like Libra can learn from Aries as far as being self-reliant. Aries can learn from Libra the importance of teamwork. Then there's Taurus. Taurus representing our physical possessions. And then there's Scorpio, I believe, representing pretty much the things that we possess as far as psychology, like the psychology, the energetic side of things. You know, the way how I imagine it, it's like Scorpio is the underworld. It's basically what's hidden, what we don't see. And Taurus is the things that we see, like things that we see in our everyday reality. So basically, I feel like Scorpio can learn from Pisces by getting out of the underworld and enjoying the physical things a little more. And Pisces can learn from Scorpio and not be so consumed in the physical world with physical things. Gemini opposes Sagittarius. Gemini is curious about everyday things on a surface level, where Sagittarius is curious about the bigger picture. Sagittarius can learn from Gemini and relax a little and not make everything so deep. Gemini can learn from Sagittarius by being a little bit, spending more time on a topic instead of getting bored so easily. Cancer is across from Capricorn, and Capricorn opposes Cancer. Cancer can learn from Capricorn that it is important to get out of the house and a place in the world, working on a place in the world and balancing how home together is important. It's like moms that I see who evolve their whole life around their children, and then their children go off to college, and it's like they don't know what to do with themselves. So yeah, Cancer can learn to balance home with a career, a place in the world, and also balance their family with themselves, as in give them themselves just as much care and attention as they do to the people they love. Capricorn can learn from Cancer as far as not just being so consumed in career and achievement and being so ambitious. Capricorn can learn from Cancer to relax and bring their attention to home and family, and not just trying to support the family and the home financially. Leo can learn from Aquarius and learn not to be so self-absorbed, and learn to pretty much be more involved in humanitarian efforts and being a little bit more selfless. Aquarius can learn from Leo and learn that it is okay to shine. I feel like deep down Aquariuses like attention, but they don't allow themselves to like it. And I'll get more into that in another video. So Pisces is across from Virgo. Pisces opposes Virgo. Virgo being earth and practical, Pisces being water and dreamy. Virgo can learn from Pisces not to be so obsessed with details and just have more of an imagination. Pisces can learn from Virgo that sometimes in order to achieve things, you're gonna have to be a little bit more practical and focus on the details. Big picture is important. Dreams are important because dreams are a blueprint to reality. So I'm all about the Pisces vibe. But Pisces can learn from Virgo that, you know, details are important. So I hope you guys were able to follow. I know I ranted and went from here to there and all over the place, but that's just how my mind works. It's like, if you guys could really just sit in my body and feel how it's like, trust me, what you've seen is nothing compared to what's going on in there. But, you know, I'm happy you guys were able to sit through this. And I look so forward to taking this journey with all of my regular people who show up, and, you know, we have our conversations and whatnot. I'm looking forward to us taking this journey, and just know that I am going to be incorporating numerology in the videos about the signs, because all signs ain't created equal, and the numbers play a big part in that. So you guys are gonna love that. So don't think that I am straying too far away. Like, it's all gonna come together and you're gonna love it. And I think you're going to want to get a natal chart done, and I'm gonna put a link below for you to get that done so you can keep it handy. So as we go through these videos, you can learn cool things about yourself. You know, things about yourself that you probably didn't know, things about yourself that might inspire your new future goals, ambitions, and just push you, be that fire to help you take charge. So YouTube, the giveaway of these cool t-shirts, Curiosity Freed the Cat. Because if you are a subscriber to this channel, then you are hella curious. So this is a t-shirt that you should be wearing. And these t-shirts are unisex for men and women, so don't think that they're for girls only. I'm gonna try to include some pictures, or a picture or two of me and my brother wearing these shirts. I'll probably crop his face out because he is not a social media person. He does not have a carbon footprint, but he was able to do his big sister a favor and put a shirt on. So the way how to win one of these shirts is by going in the comment box below and writing Curiosity Freed the Cat. So you have to write that in the comment box below. You have to subscribe to this channel, and we are able to see who subscribed and who doesn't. Turn your notification bell on, and then the last thing, go to my website, soulandvibration.com. There will be a link in the description box. Go to my website and subscribe. You'll see a section where you put your email information in and subscribe. And the shirts come in sizes of small to extra large, and I feel like they run kind of big because I'm wearing a small, but it's super loose, and my brother is wearing a medium, and that was pretty loose on him too. So again, in order to win, go in the comment box below, write "Curiosity freed the cat." Then subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Go to the website and subscribe. On the 26th of August, I will be announcing the winner. But I will post a video telling you guys who won. And if I end up giving away more, you guys will know about it. But if you don't get an opportunity to win a shirt, I will have them up for sale in the Soul and Vibration store. And I'll tell you more about all that on the 26th when I announce the winner of the Curiosity Freed the Cat t-shirt. I am super excited, you guys, about all of this. I am super excited about the growth of the channel. I am super excited about this community that is coming together. It's just super exciting. I am not only connecting with you guys, but I am meeting other super cool astrologers and content creators who are super supportive. And it is just exciting. Like I said, Astro Finesse, the jiggiest hippie I know. You guys go and check him out. He has a lot of astrology videos up, and he is now getting into numerology. And the way how he does it is completely different from the way I do it. So if you've enjoyed what I've been doing here, you're gonna enjoy what's going on over there, because I know I do. And make sure you guys comment and whatever video that you check out and say, hey, Soul and Vibration sent us. We're coming from Soul and Vibration. So yes, you guys, thank you so much for tuning into this video. Stay curious. You know, self-awareness is a superpower. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.